1 year ago, I made a video talking about why BONELAB's Marrow interaction engine will change VR forever, and despite a rocky launch, I still hold to that belief, and I think BONELAB's impending update will make this a reality. It's been almost a whole year since SLZ last released a BONELAB update, and that was just 2 months after the game was released. So where is stress level 0? Well, there's a few possibilities. SLZ has promised 2 years of support for BONELAB, so we know they're not done updating the game quite yet. One possibility is they're primarily focused on their next game, and they'll release some minor updates before those 2 years are up just to keep their word. And that's not unlikely, but I have my doubts. Based on Brandon's semi-recent tweets, it seems like they're more focused on Marrow than a new game. And that sort of leads into my next point, Marrow for everyone. At one point, it didn't sound like SLZ wanted to license out Marrow to developers, and maybe they still don't want to, but Brandon has tweeted out that the Marrow engine will expedite development of mods and games alike. This could mean a few things. He could just be referring to SLZ games, or he could be referring to licensing out Marrow. Personally, I think he's referring to the latter. And I'm all for this. VR desperately needs a standardized interaction system, and I don't think most people, including VR devs, understand just how important this really is. But what about BONELAB? What if you're not a developer? What if you're just a gamer who enjoys SLZ games? Well, this video is for you. Despite my belief that SLZ is mainly focused on improving Marrow across the board, including accessibility to developers, SLZ has promised continued support for BONELAB. This means that when 2 Marrow, or whatever they choose to call the second version, releases, BONELAB is going to reap the benefits, and if I'm guessing correctly, this will mean a more polished interaction system, but also more freedom for mod developers through an SDK update. I'm expecting more in-depth and officially supported NPC creation and better tools for creating weapons and items, more components, etc. So basically, I think it's safe to assume one big update improving the interaction system and the SDK is on its way and could even be close to releasing. These updates may not sound like they'll make a huge difference. Could some improvements to an already existing system really change everything? Of course, there's the potential that Marrow becomes available for third-party games, and obviously that would revolutionize VR, but even if that doesn't come right away, 2 Marrow is revolutionary because it will give us a glimpse of the future. It's the next step on the road to fully realized VR. And you might be wondering why. It's because VR interaction systems aren't just ways to play games, they're tools that allow us as humans to enter and interact with virtual spaces. As VR progresses, interaction systems like Marrow will be the Windows and Mac OS equivalents of modern day computing. 2 Marrow has the chance to change VR forever by setting a new bar for what's possible in VR. I think due to reworking the entire system and starting from scratch along with introducing new features like auto-scaling for avatars, 1 Marrow ended up being worse than BONEWORKS interaction system in a lot of ways. But an update to Marrow could fix that by removing the jank and making your movements feel unencumbered by the system. So let's take stock of the situation. Brandon's recent tweets are all about Marrow and its potential. SLZ has promised updates for BONELAB but hasn't released a major update since launch. The logical conclusion is a big Marrow update is coming to BONELAB, and I doubt they do that without updating the SDK as well. But this is just a guess based on facts we do know, but anything could happen. Literally nothing feels more YouTuber-y than doing an outro. It's like impossible to be natural and do an outro and ask people to subscribe and like, you know, and I would never do that because I'm not one of those, I'm not like other YouTubers. So I'll see you guys in the next one.